Hello everyone, it's Reverend Deanna Cox here with your midweek reflection for, this will be our last Wednesday in October already. Goodness sakes. And so we're coming up on the heels of Halloween, and we have a lot of activities going on in our physical communities. And so as my regular introduction, I'm a United Church minister, and I serve the physical communities of Daysland, Killam, and Roseland in East Central Alberta. And I also serve this online community, which is reaching more and more people, which always baffles and makes me feel good too at the same time. And so this is a place where I just share a reflection on sometimes just whatever topic pops into my head. It often is like kind of helps me prepare for the service that we offer on Sunday. And this week, it's sort of both. We're working on a collaboration project with another couple of communities, and we're experimenting with showing their live stream. And so I won't be preaching this Sunday, but the passage that our guest preacher is focusing on comes from the Gospel of Luke. It's the parable of the barren fig tree, and I think it sort of happens to blend in with some thoughts that were rumbling around in my head today, just, I don't know, sort of randomly. And so the parable of the fig tree is about a landowner that goes out and is mad at this fig tree because for years it has not produced any fruit whatsoever. And so the landowner tells the gardener to just chop it down, be rid of it, because what good is this useless thing? To which the gardener replies, give me one more year. Let me dig around it and put some manure around it and see what happens. And then we can discuss whether to, uproot it or not. And so I was thinking about that, and in our area, we've recently had a heavy frost, and very recently had a dip in temperatures and some snow. And so sometimes people bring plants in from their garden, and I don't know if you can see behind me, my kitchen table is full of plants that I want to try and overwinter. And so I need to transplant them and sort of uproot them and dig around them and trim them back. And so that reminded me of the passage. And also thinking about how, we've talked about when I've mentioned before in regards to reconciliation work or anti-racism work, that we need to do our own work first. And so those two ideas come together for me in this passage, like doing our own work and our own learning around a topic that we need to know more about, say around Indigenous peoples or the queer community, or even just our own faith. We are to do our own work first, do our own understanding, and then we can start to engage some people. And so that's kind of like these plants. I need to do the work on them before they're going to flourish. And I was also a few minutes late because I was actually purging my closet, and it's a hard thing to do. Letting go of unrealistic expectations that we put on ourselves about, our weight loss goals, or, whatever those goals are. And then, but also the freeing of it when we actually do that work and let go. And it was actually good to see this whole section of empty hangers in my closet and the spaciousness and letting go of those unrealistic expectations. So digging around my own self-image issues or self-esteem issues, and doing that work and the putting manure around it, like nurturing healthy, positive growth. So whether that be about plants or fig trees, or whether it be about our self-image, self-worth, or whether that be about learning a new concept, or learning how to be anti-racist, that kind of issue, also, or about how to be in community. Sometimes, I don't know if you've noticed, sometimes being in community with a diverse group of people is really hard. We are all different. We celebrate that in the church, the fact that we are all different. And we rejoice in that. And then we bump up against something that is different and we go, what is going on? And, pardon me, just a moment. Steve, would you text my mom and tell her that I'm on my midweek reflection? That's why I'm not answering. Sorry about that. Thank you. And so we bump up against difference of opinions, and oftentimes when we bump up against something that's different, instead of putting in the work that is needed to go through to resolve it, we leave. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes leaving is important. Even if it's just for a minute or a short time, that sometimes leaving is important to do for our well-being, or so we don't say something that we'll regret later. For many reasons, leaving is important. But what we have to remember to do is to also dig around that and do the work that is needed, and our work, and to put some manure around the good stuff, to nurture it so that we can be in community in better ways. For example, reconciliation in personal relationships. I've really struggled with that, and wondering about how to forgive someone, and been challenged a bit personally this year by that statement of do your own work first, owning your part in the broken relationship. And so then, so how do I do my work? And also challenged to make time to do this work, because I think often we get busy and we push this aside, and then we end up later in our lives either being dysfunctional or going, what's the matter? All my relationships are broken. So I've been challenged personally to make time to do that work and to try and figure out how, it's hard to teach someone because that's different for each person and each scenario. And so it's just, I've come back to this passage of however it is for you, however you understand that digging around the plant, doing your own work, gathering resources and people around you to help you nurture the good things in your life and to strengthen your strengths and open you to your areas of growth, and whether that's journaling, a therapist, whatever, that is adding the manure, that is nurturing the positive growth in your life. And so I think the premise of the service series that my colleague is doing this week is around opening our minds to different understandings of the parables. And so I hope that I've given you that. I hope that if you find a community that resonates with you even just a little bit, that you put the work and the effort into helping it be fruitful, helping everyone, including yourself in that community, be fruitful. One of the books that I'm reading talks about how these relationships are messy because we are each messy, flawed human beings. And so, of course, our communities are going to be messy and flawed. And we just have to commit within reason. Like I said, sometimes there are good reasons to step away, to commit to doing that work that helps us be fruitful. So friends, that is my midweek reflection for this last week of October. Take care and God bless. Bye.